right, so I wanted to talk a little bit about what's happening here, even though I can't really be fully honest and clear because of the censorship on YouTube. But I think what I have to say doesn't require anything that's really gonna, cause a problem with that, because I just want to comment on the whole state of affairs with what's happening with the divide now. Both the liberal Democratic wing, you might say, and then the conservative Republican wing. There's always been a big divide, but where the divide is getting dangerous, I agree with James Corbett of the CorbettReport.com if you want to check him out. Excellent reporter, and it's just a total travesty that he got kicked off of YouTube, banned from YouTube, and he did so much great work. But I made a link to his site, and I check his movies regularly. That's what I do. I have a link for all of the channels and sites that, including band.video for Alex Jones, that I like to check out regularly. But one thing James was saying that I agree with is that the divide between the pro-vaccine people and the anti-vaccine people is really getting to the point where it's going to be dangerous. I mean, not even talking about which side I'm on. You guys know pretty much what I think about it. It's pretty obvious from watching my channel, but the thing is that the point I'm making is that it's for those people who don't practice nonviolence. There's a sense now that it could really be a civil war, because there's a lot of people that really feel strongly, and they really feel that they're in the right, that the unvaccinated people are a threat to the vaccinated, and then vice versa is true, and these groups are at loggerheads, and I think there's a possibility that it could be a real showdown at a certain point, because the group that is pro-vaccine is pushing for mandatory vaccines, and that's where I think it's getting dangerous, because there's a lot of people that feel that that's like a full civil liberty issue, and I agree. I mean, whatever you think about the vaccines, it should be your choice what you put in your body. Los Angeles for you. I hope that showed up good on the audio. So I agree that the people that are saying that it's a civil liberty issue about what people put in their body or not, I agree with that, because whether you're pro-vaccine or whether you don't feel that that there's something that you want to put in your body, the choice should be yours, and you should not be banned from any sort of venues. Doesn't matter what it is. I mean, I don't care if it's a baseball game, school, work, grocery store, or even whatever, bar, movie theaters. No way, no how. And I can tell you one thing. Now, there's a lot of smart people in my city, Los Angeles, okay? And even though they're mostly, like, I would say at least 70-80%, if not more, liberal Democrats that agree with the stuff that the other side doesn't believe in, but a lot of them, I mean, I'm talking about liberal Democrats that are glad that Joe Biden won and feel that he won legitimately, but even they are going, whoa, wait a minute, you're talking about giving this vaccine that hasn't passed the Food and Drug evaluation, and there has been problems reported, and they've even recalled certain vaccines and everything else. So there is some issue that can be raised, and I just don't think that I think that those people are going to I don't think that they're gonna give in to pressure, and a lot of those people are everybody here in LA. I mean, at least a lot of people are armed and crazy enough to go crazy if they try anything like that. So that's why I think that they know that. I think that the lawmakers here know the temperature of the waters as far as people accepting that or not. And and I think they know that it's not going to be accepted. Sorry about the wind. I'm probably getting some wind noise here. You know what's weird is someday, right after I uploaded the movie about the reptilian, showing the reptilian footage, whoo, boy, I had really weird bad luck. And it felt really tired and everything. But another casualty of war. We're used to that. I've talked with plenty of people who every time they make a move or do something or post a movie or something like that, that might be effective, might be a good thing for the cause of truth. Whoo, boy, all kinds of stuff goes wrong. But so I think that now I think that and in Europe we have massive protests, as Ben Swan was reporting. I like to watch Ben Swan, Truth in Media.
Look at this. This was the scene here in Spain just hours ago as tens of thousands of people turned out to protest mandatory COVID vaccinations, COVID passports, and those who marched were marching against forcing kids to be vaccinated before they go to school. But it wasn't just here in Madrid where these protests were happening. Hundreds of thousands of protesters turned out in cities across Europe, including London, in Dublin, in Paris, in Rome, in Athens. Some of the most powerful demonstrations happened in France, where demonstrators actually had tear gas fired at them by riot police. Police actually pushed back demonstrators in some parts of the city, and there were also scuffles between police and demonstrators. In France, the reason for the protest in part was because of pending legislation in France's parliament that would set up a vaccine passport system within the country, as well as implement a vaccination mandate for all healthcare workers. In Italy, it was much of the same thing, as thousands of Italian demonstrators gathered in Rome, Naples, Verona, and Milan on July 24th. In Verona, thousands chanted "No Green Pass," referring to the Italian government's decision to implement a vaccine passport-like system for people to enter local fairs, stadiums, theaters, or other gathering areas. London also drew massive anti-vaccine demonstrations, with protesters once again waving flags and singing songs.
And I'll tell you one thing, man. I would be surprised if it not. See, I don't know what the temperature's like there in Europe. I mean, I think a lot of people are getting pissed. There's a lot, by those protests. But I don't know how serious they are when push really comes to shove. If they're gonna take it all the way in terms of, they're gonna start taking action that isn't legal. But the way they've set it up is that, anybody who does resort to violence, you're going to be out of luck. And people that are not like me, who as I've told you, I'm against use of firearms or weapons to hurt people, because the Lord will take care of it. And if you hurt or kill somebody, that's going to be on your soul. But if they hurt or kill you, not a hair on your head will perish, even if they kill you. So I'm willing to be put to death. That may sound wimpy, but believe me, I have a fighting spirit. I want to fight, but the restrictions that God has put on us prevents us from doing that. If you are paying attention to what God is saying, God tells us, "He who kills with the sword must be killed with the sword." And by saying that, he's saying, don't resort to the sword, because he says, "Not a hair on your head will perish." So that's the challenge that we'll be given. Herein lies the patience of the saints, it says. Okay? Because it doesn't make sense, because it seems like, justice would allow you to fight. But it also says, the Lord Jesus, who wages war righteously, realize that if we ourselves have no good thing dwelling in us, and we also know that the scripture says that the wrath of man comes to nothing. Okay? That's a really important verse. The wrath of man comes to naught. Which means that, and vengeance belongs to me. But, if you wrath down on somebody, in anger, or, because of something wrong they did, even if it's fully justified by any measure you could possibly see, if you do that, you are in the wrong, and you could lose the quality of life that you have enjoyed up until now, such as it is, like in my case. But seriously, a lot of people don't realize, even if they're poor and desperate and miserable, how much more miserable you can be, especially if you lose your cool. Because that's what God is telling us. He is this test to see if we can be worthy to enter into heaven, to see if you can control yourself control your anger, because if you let it blow, oh man. See, the problem is, I think this is why this is done. I'm only speculating here because God knows the answer and I don't. But I'm only speculating here, which is that in heaven, the people who are worthy, they have to be people that show the character of godliness. This is what the importance of Psalm 1 is. I'm going to go over this a little bit more, because Psalms really lays out, even though it's kind of poetic and people think it's kind of fanciful, and like the guys who wrote it kind of added their own little, thing to it. Now, these are very specific, very informative parameters that we need to consider. And it says that the ungodly will not even stand in the courtroom of God. So the person who is not either Jewish or maybe even Muslim, I don't know, like godly may include Muslims and Hindus and those kind of people that if they really revere God, even though they're worshiping in the wrong way because they're not Christians, but that may include the godly. But in any case, as we know, even if they stand in the courtroom of God, they're not going to make it. But on the other hand, I think the overall picture is more complex. I would just say, keep your mind open to what the real case may be in terms of who is worthy of what. Because I see a lot of Christians that I think are less worthy than people from other religions, and so I don't know. I mean, I would just say keep an open mind, and don't be too judgmental and condemning of people that you don't know. For instance, if I didn't have the kind of nature that I do, which is I investigate anybody, I don't care what, I'll talk with them, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, or atheist. I'll talk to a person and find out what kind of person they are. Now, obviously, if they're something really obviously wrong, then you can kind of be sure about it. But I'm willing to give anybody a chance. And imagine if I had not given this master monk a chance up here in Thailand, I would have missed the most amazing. First of all, I would have been making an ass out of myself, and secondly, I would have missed a huge opportunity to find out a lot of interesting stuff about the spirit world and how our world works. The bodies that we have inside of our bodies, the spirit body, is like a physical body. It has character, and I knew that before, but I really learned it when I had this experience with Anna and Master Monk and all these people. Kudri and all the stuff, the angels and everything, 2 other angels, and so, but back to the danger that's coming up here. I think that my message to my friends and Christians and people who like my channel, you don't hate me. You watch my channel because you like me, because you don't hate me. I'm talking about people that hate me. There's a lot of people I think that they pay to watch that hate me, because they're just paid to look for any weakness and any way to come against me. And that's why they got really mad when I turned off the comments, because that was a way that they could attack me. It was a way that they could hurt me. And I know it sounds like paranoia and everything, but man, I tell you, if you were in my shoes and you experienced that, you would probably make the same choice because it was just it was like an open door for Satan to kick you in the groin, and the only is like it's like opening a window. Okay, come and kick me in the groin. So I made the choice, and I'm sticking by it. I mean, I realize that's a turn off to a lot of people. People like to comment or whatever. It just wasn't worth it, because there was a lot of nice people and there's interesting stuff you could learn from the comments. Not that much, that's another main reason I tried, because it really wasn't that much. Really wasn't that many intelligent, interesting, insightful, educational type comments. But the main things that I've gotten are from people emailing me separately, and by overwhelming majority. So, and it's just kind of a popularity contest. It's a waste of time. People really don't even read the comments a lot, and so people spend a lot of time sitting there writing these comments. I know I did, but YouTube spared me that. They blocked me completely from making comments at anybody else's channel, in response, I think, to blocking any comments at my channel. Because I think there's some people watching my channel that work at YouTube, and they like my content, so they watch it, but obviously they're not behaving right, because censorship of anything that isn't against the law or clearly inciting, a problem is not American. That's not what America stands for. So you people that are doing that, it's just not American, friends, and I'm sticking by that. That's not what America stood for. And speaking of which, I mean, America is now, Alex Jones is right. We thought we lived in a free country. We don't now, and it really has gone downhill. I mean, we are I was just listening to what's his name? He's a really great reporter. I forget his name. I'll put his name on the screen. Chris Hedges. He was giving a speech, and before a crowd, he was talking about the decline of America and how all the signs are there that it's really going downhill. So the preppers are right. People like Alex Jones. People know that can see this stuff coming. I mean, Alex Jones is very smart. He's very smart, and he has made it clear that. Well, what the heck is this? All right. Anyway, he's made clear that the decline of America is here, and prepping is not a bad idea. I mean, I want to get that water filter thing. I'd like to get I'm set for power now. It's funny because I got this battery, the AC50S, and then when I complained about the serious problem that it had, I finally figured it out. Just a quick update. You can't turn it off once you leave because the unit has to be on to charge. But it also has another problem, which is that the charge indicator doesn't come on. So that does happen occasionally, and you have to check it every morning. So it is problematic. But to me, it's still worth it if you can get twice the drain and charge cycles as the Jackery and pay about $70 less. So because $430 for the Max Oak charger, I put the picture on the screen, is actually that's still a lot of money, and then but it's $500 for the Jackery, which I think is better. It's better overall quality, except that it's half the value in terms of lasting. I don't like anything like that. I mean, half the charge cycles, 500 as opposed to 1,000 for the Max Oak Blue Eddy AC50S. But what I would like to do actually is get one of those big ones, and then maybe get one of those add-on ones to it. Whole thing would cost you like $3,000, but then I could run an AC unit off of that thing. Oh man, and that'd be really nice because during the summer, RV life is pretty rough, guys. Like I told you, you almost can't even do it. I mean, you really have to be smart. Most people who are in this situation are not smart enough to handle all the ins and outs if you are in a totally financially minimized situation, and then trying to figure out how to be homeless, especially living in an RV, pay for everything you need. It's quite challenging, and I think a lot of people don't last. They'll try it for a little while, but they can't do it, and then the RV or their car gets goned, and it's goned forever. And now they are shopping cart and tent. And boy, there are so many people. And now here in LA, they've criminalized being homeless, at least in a lot of areas, and on Venice Beach now, which actually I'm kind of on the fence. I mean, I feel bad for these people, but at the same time, it'd be nice to have Venice Beach back so you at least go for a walk there without being totally confronted by homeless scumbags, which unfortunately I need to tell you, as I've said in my movie, like 80-90% of them are scumbags. For various reasons, they're mentally biffed, whatever. But they're people that they're violent, they're stupid, they're dirty. They would swindle you in a heartbeat if they had the opportunity, and they're just general pieces of crap. But that doesn't apply to everybody. There's a lot of people I think that are, even though they are mentally challenged or financially challenged, they're still decent people. This painting is great. These guys that can paint like this, I can't paint like this at all. That is awesome, man. I'd love to be able to paint like that. I don't think I have the brain power somehow, or maybe I don't have the motivation. I kind of just like design, sketching, but it's still really awesome. I'd love to learn how to do it. Yeah, maybe after a few million years of practice, I'll start to get close to that. A few million years, okay? Just got eternal life in the earth, so. It's gonna be a new earth and everything made. So what I would say to my friends is to prepare it in your mind, because, you know, if you're watching this and you have firearms and you're saying to yourself, well, you know, it's all fine and great, Rich, but, you know, I got a family, and, you know, okay, I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm not here to shame or, you know, speak against anybody like that, because, you know, believe me, I have that same feeling. I love guns. I'll be honest with you. I always have loved guns. And if I hadn't become a Christian, once I even had money, because I was playing paintball. I had like the most expensive paintball gun you could get. I got the machine gun, the SMG 50 or something. I forget what it was. And I mean, I love playing paintball. You know, war games and stuff like that. I just was kind of in my nature. But now that I know what God has in store and what the situation is, I know not to do that. So I would talk to those that are on the fence about it. You know, don't pick up the gun. Don't pick up the sword. You know, your whole life, even if it's in complete justified self-defense, and, you know, in the line of duty, if you're a soldier, protecting your family, it doesn't matter. If you take a life, you will bear the burden of it forever. A nasty ass burden of guilt. Okay, it'll weigh on your soul, and your life will never be the same again. And if you really were honest about it, looking back, a lot of people are in denial. You know, they justify it through the whole situation. They never admit it. But a lot of people who have killed somebody or shot somebody and they were injured pretty bad, or somebody was injured pretty bad, not even death, if they could go back and not do it, they would do that, because the burden of hurting somebody, or especially killing somebody, is so terrible. I would hate my life, and you know, I'm living in a dangerous situation because I have a really bad temper, kind of like my dad, except I have it more in control than my dad did. But still, man, I almost blew it, you know, a couple of times, and I thought about getting a gun, you know, because of the situation I'm in. I've been attacked, you know, in my RV here in LA. People have come back drunk and like tried to start a fight with me, and like really challenged me to come out and fight, and I had to call the police and everything. And you know, I was thinking, you know, if this happens to me when a situation where they're going to destroy my RV, that's going to, you know, mess up my only place to live. And I mean, I should have, you know, probably have a shotgun or something in the closet. But I resisted because for the reason that I told you, that don't be fooled, friends. If I act on my impulses, which are pretty strong in some cases, that's why it scares me. You know, your life will not be the same after that. You know, it will enter into a whole new dark phase. Because I think once you do that, the demons know when you've broken a law, and demons of depression can attach themselves to you. I told you this. I knew a veteran I used to work in construction with, and he was telling me about how he stood up in Vietnam and sprayed down 10 people. And I mean, the guilt on, you know, and it was in the line of duty. You know, he was doing his duty, but the weight on this guy's soul, like he couldn't. You know, getting stoned wasn't like a pleasure. He had to have it even during work. Like, you know, as soon as he got away from the office, man, he'd breaking out the weed, he'd driving his truck, and he's smoking. God damn it, you know. And you know, to get out of his pain, man, and that pain just racked him, dude. And I knew it was from Vietnam. Terrible, you know, these people committing suicide, coming back from these countries, and they're given orders to go in and shoot these people. And even if they're terrorists, man, that the PTSD is not just stress. Okay, that's the big bullshit story. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, that PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, that is not because of the stress of bullets whizzing by or a comrade dying. No, a little bit of that, but the real thing is having shot people. The guilt, the terrible, terrible, terrible guilt. That's why, if you're like me and you love guns, you love weapons, you know, and fighting and everything like that, yeah, it's so cool, man, I love all that stuff, man. You know, but the real truth is, once you become a Christian and you know and you've read God's word, and you look at it and you go, whoa, whoa, dude, you can't be doing it, man, because hell is waiting. And that's so terrible that, like I said, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I can't even imagine it. So, you know, you don't want to end up there, and you're going to want to do everything now while you're living to prevent it. And if you kill somebody, you know, even in self-defense, you know, you don't know for sure. That's another thing too about a gun is it's a lot easier to kill somebody. And you know, even if like you're in your home and there's a thief in there and he's violent and he's even already shot somebody, you know, I'm just giving an example, but you know, you don't know that he was going to do it again, or you know, that shooting him was the only choice. I'm not saying that I don't understand your logic if you're saying stuff. Wait, no, you got to shoot that guy, because I mean I might very well likely do so. My point is that in a lot of situations we don't know. We really don't know if it was absolutely necessary to take someone's life. And in that case, best to be killed. That's one of the problems of having a family, because at that point, you know, I would be a lot more on the side of, you know, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to defend your family. But a lot of people who justify sin, you know, maybe they're in hell and they explain to the devil that's sitting there ramming a spear in their side, yeah, I had to because I had a family. I mean, come on. You know, that devil is just going to look at you and say, the law was the law, and you knew the law. You knew the 10 Commandments, and now you're here because you didn't obey them. So, you know, but I liken it to this, as I've told a lot of my friends. I used to worry about this a lot. The man who's righteous doesn't need to worry. If you are righteous, and on the whole you've been right, even if I think that, you know, like you were involved in killing somebody, this isn't a contradiction with myself. I'm just saying that, you know, that things happen, and the Lord knows things happen, and if you are pleasing before the Lord, He will make even your enemies to be at peace with you, the Scripture says. So, and if the overall trajectory of your life is righteous, you're going to make it. You know, if the Lord is pleased with you in general, you are righteous, you are an honest man, you are not doing iniquity, you are not screwing people, you are truly doing what's right, you will make it. And the same goes for no matter how, you know, saintly somebody else may appear. If they are not righteous before the Lord, no matter, everybody else in the church would swear up and down this is the most saintly person you could possibly imagine, not doing a damn thing wrong. But if they are not righteous before the Lord, it doesn't matter. They're not making it. So, be approved of the Lord. And the way to be approved of the Lord is by carefully reading His book like a legal document, the authorized King James Bible. Don't be fooled.
If you're watching this, it's not too late. Say this prayer now. Father in heaven, please save my soul by the work of your Son Jesus on the cross, and show me your pure words in the authorized King James Bible.